because I can see your comment from earlier. For those of you all that were waiting, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I'm looking down so that I could see if at any point I lose being able to see your comments here. I can see it on here. So JE, thank you for that comment. Very, very much. Let's get it. How have you all been? Y'all know I'm going to procrastinate, and then I'm going to see this. The statistics say that we only had people listen to part of the live and not the whole thing, which I'll be able to tell as soon as they speak with me. So peace, y'all. Peace. Let's get it. Because this thing has been weighing on me, and I've had people have questions earlier, and also people who misinterpret directives. Oh boy, hey, yeah, good to see you. Hi, y'all. So we're going to talk about it. Some of the ES have heard me speak about this in general already, and those of you all wondering, oh boy, ES, Sarita, aka Sacred Lotus. Speaking of which, let me send you all the invite link so that if people want to come up, yes, Sheena, please forward it to everybody else for me, please, because I have to use the other thing. Okay? And it'll make life a little easier. Excuse me, y'all, for looking down. I'm just trying to send this. Actually, I'm going to do it. I think I could do it in the group. All right. Let me know if y'all got it. That's the invite link for when people have questions. Peace at the end. All right, y'all. We're going to go jump into this. FYI, I don't have my water. So what energy is here is just going to have to be here and not be cooled. Okay? So it's been a long time since I've been able to be with this background. Okay, thank you. All right, peace, got it. That's to share at the end if anyone wants to come up, if they're bold enough. Because I know some people want to keep their privacy about what it is, their spiritual practices, and they may not want to be up on the tube of you with me. However, the link is going to be there. Peace, Antio, for everybody to ask the questions at the end. I ask that you keep the questions to the topic because we have a problem with people wanting to come on and ask stuff that they could very well and easily email my assistant about and or send a message because they've already gotten some sort of service, right? Outside of that, you can send an IG message. Either myself or my Shay will answer. No worries. 9 times out of 10, it's usually me. But I'm going to redirect you to their website if you ask me a consultation question. So heads up. All right. To the person, if they're watching this now, who, when I was on the Tok of Tik, who complimented this necklace, I did deliver your message to my baby, and she said, thank you. She was like, that's so sweet. So she's glad that she picked it out. All right. We're going to talk about Ifa directives and morality. And I touched a little bit about this on the Tok of Tik earlier when I was teasing for this particular, I guess, class, right? And then at the end, I'll open it up to questions. Forgive me if you come in and you say hello and I don't greet you immediately or I don't see it. I'm looking down a lot so that I can see that you all are speaking to me, and I'm going to engage in that way as well. But I want to make sure that I get this out, and I try to keep this not to be too long because I found even when I have longer lives, people just don't take the time to finish even in the first 15 minutes. And so that's disheartening because a lot of the times when they come with more questions, they get referred right back to a video. So thank you for your time and patience in watching. So, all right. So I've had this come up quite a bit. And one of the people that's going to watch this is going to be like, oh, I know why she did this one. And it's not just now, it's been really this way since the beginning, but it's become more of a thing because many of the people that are finding me, and my voice is already cracking, she already coming. Let's see if it's gonna be her or Rumila today. Anyway, many of the people have not followed my content enough. And because they haven't followed my content, going back to what another creator said to me, I talk to you all as if you already know what we're about, know what we do. We being me, the Ifa family, right? I always talk to you all that way. I'm always like, oh, well, such and such and such and such. So I'm trying to do a better of starting over in my introduction and who I am and what we do. So I'm Iana Fashandra Sharice. I'm an intuitive business strategist and also YouTube creator or creator manager, on top of all that stuff, on top of being an Ianiko and a mother. A mother. Okay? So, peace, serendipity. Good to see you. So, that said, welcome for those of you new, to the people in the back that are watching. Welcome. Okay? And now let's go forward. I try to explain and teach on here, peace, Nikita, a little bit about Isheshe that I can in explaining things in a way in which you understand. Because I remember being in your position and not understanding. There are still things that I will continue to learn. You will not hear me quoting a whole bunch of Arikis or all of those things because that is not my mission. My mission is to make it so that you can understand and comprehend and so choose to decide your path, whether it be Ifa, any spiritual practice. I mean, hell, religion is spiritual too when people talk about religion, but live your life. So, any practice that you want to do, just as long as it brings you peace. So, that's it in my educating people about Ifa because I don't like the ignorance that's touted online about it. And one of my counterparts on here, he seems to get great inspiration because soon after I speak to you all, he has a video coming out from a Baba talking about the same type of things, but they're not explaining it the way that I'm explaining it to you because they live this thing in Yoruba land, right? So when they talk to you, they're talking to you as if you are Yoruba, and not everybody here is. And I've had the pleasure of bringing some people who are Yoruba back to their own tradition because of the way that I explain it. So I'm also saying all of this so that you understand. I don't just do this for the West, and I know people assume that. We have clients in New Zealand, we have clients in Australia, we have clients in Switzerland, we have clients in Turkey, we have clients all around the world. So don't assume just because I'm teaching it this way that it's just for people in the West. No, it is global. It is for whoever needs to understand it and needs a way of understanding this so that they aren't confused. Because what I don't like is a lot of the information that's on here, or even those who are practitioners who have been in this a long time, how they tout Ifa to you and how they speak to you about Ifa is not relatable. And you cannot teach a people if you don't relate to a people. Okay? All right. And thank you for liking the live. Come on, Ia Pine, Pina. You're going to forever be Pina in my life. Okay, so let's go because there's been confusion and people don't understand. And in the Ile, I will describe more. And I know y'all been waiting on this Elay for a year and a half, but I don't do nothing without the right documentation. So we're almost there. Okay. Elay coming soon. And if you want to apply to be a part of it, go to my website and you can do it there. Okay. Let's start. In IFA, we are given directives. Okay. So when you get a divination, i.e., dafa, from us. And it says, Ifa says XYZ, you may refrain from doing this, don't eat this. Some people laugh because some of the things seem a little crazy, like eating big rat. And you like, good for me, I don't eat big rat. However, that is a delicacy in Africa, not just Nigeria, in Africa, right? So you get a directive that says, don't do this, don't do this, do this more, or refrain from this for this period of time. Those directives are important. And when I tell you all, when you come to get a divination, make sure you're ready to follow directives. Everybody goes, okay, I'm a little scared, I'm a little nervous. However, it is better to know what is coming up in your life that you can be prepared for, that you know will be taken care of, than it is to sit there and be blind to everything. Okay? So we get these directives. And then in that, when you get a divination from us, at the end, we allow you to ask 3 questions. They can either pertain to your divination and or your life. Now, this is important. Okay? When this happens, you may get a response to your question that you don't like. Now, I'm going to try my best to generalize all of these. These are all instances which have occurred. And I'm going to work a little backwards here. I'm going to start with the same thing that I talked about on the Tube of You earlier today. Your moral character. You were raised to believe something should go this way. Before you have children, you should get married because it's a sin if you don't, right? However, Mary wasn't really married, right? This man took her on and her child, no? She also was 14, but allegedly, let's not talk about that. So let's think about that. That's a rule that you heard. Okay. Another rule you heard. Thou shalt not kill. No? Okay. So I spoke about that earlier today. In the concept of your moral character, does that make you a wrong person if you serve in the military? And if you happen to go to war and you're fighting for the freedom and or belief freedom of someone else and thou shalt not kill? So moral character, is it truly what you do, your intent behind what you do, or what you were told you shouldn't do? Okay, I want you to keep that together. And if y'all got a pen and paper, you better write that down because you're gonna need it for later. So I want you to think about that. It is all in the perspective in which it benefits the benefactor. So it's all in the perspective of how it benefits you. Now, one thing that I always tell you all is Ifa is never going to make you do something that's going to hurt, harm yourself or others. Period. Your journey is your journey. Your choices are still your choices. However, that in between is a real gray area, just shown on what I just said to you. Another good way to explain that is if someone is being consistently abused mentally and or physically, and they do something to retaliate against that person because they're done, they're tired, right? Should they be prosecuted because they did this thing? So I need you to like rock with me here so that you can understand where I'm coming from. Morally, you say no because, or is it morally? No, because they're getting this person. Okay, this person did this thing, this person hurt them, and you hear about it on the news all the time, but yet they are prosecuted in a court of law, okay, by their peers. Now it's like, but they needed to get away, but it was for the protection, and they're not this kind of person to do these things. However, they did what they felt necessary in that moment because their life felt threatened. Does that make them of immoral character? Continue to follow me here. So when I tell you, if I gives you a directive and says not to do these things, or you ask a question in relations to doing something, and how I respond to you will always be how Ifa put it. It will never be my own spin, my own belief, my own whatever on it, which is why I tell you we don't judge people who come and ask certain questions. And when I say that, you're so used to being judged because people will tell you they don't judge you, but be judging you behind your back. I'm gonna tell you right now, I really don't care. What I do care about is if you defame people and if you hurt and harm people intentionally. That's different. Okay, so I am gonna talk about you because I'm human if you do some shit like that. Excuse me for the advertisers that are coming on. However, anything else that you do in your life, I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. I am gonna talk about you though if you do something wrong. So now, in that aspect, what I consider to be wrong in that aspect. Now, E5 questions are very black and white. This is why I tell you it is not um, a psychic reading. You cannot ask me if so and so is your mate or what's my mate going to look like or such and such and such. If E5 wants you to know that via the Odu that comes out, E5 will tell you, peace, good to see you. And E5 will tell you in the storyline, and every time I try to tell you, you'll get a description. Beware of this person. This person has been your good friend for a long time, and you have known them through thick and thin, and you confide in them the most. Beware of that person. This person is tall. Look out for such and such. Beware of that person. This child has this color hair, eyes, such and such and such. It's because of the story. Outside of that story, in that Odu, Ifa is not going to tell you more than that because at the end of the day, it's still up to you. That's that free will thing. So now, when you come and you ask me, should I be with this individual or not? And you are given an answer. And your answer is, I can't wait for the person to watch this who sees this thing. Your answer is, you should not be with that person. However, you cannot leave that person right now. You just need to wait. And as you wait, you're going to have two other people. They're going to try to holler at you. Now, the way Ifa says it is, you'll have two suitors. Don't turn the suitors away. So then you ask me, I'm supposed to cheat? That's not what Ifa said. Ifa said, don't turn them away. How you decide that is for you is on you. Now, the reason you had the two suitors is because you just said you wanted to end this relationship here. So when you get the other suitors, right, one of those suitors could align with you more than your situation, and or both can, but the choice is up to you. Now, when they speak to you, you don't know if they're going to come within the constraints of you leaving this person or if they're going to come after. But the key to those two people coming that align with your life, right? The betterment for either one of you, because you get to pick, as do they, how they act and receive you and you deal with what they're doing will depict if you move forward in accordance with Ifa. However, Ifa already told you you're going to have two that'll be good catches for you, boo. Okay? So you decide, I'm not going to listen to none of that. I am now going to leave the person because I don't think I would be told to stay somewhere that I'm not happy staying. Okay, so you do that. And once you do that, now your two suitors are no longer an option. Okay? Because now you have changed the trajectory of the heads up that you were given by the question that you asked. So your questions can determine the trajectory of where your life goes. So now you like buy two suitors. I I'm not worried about them. I've left my situation. And now you're in situations in which the person that you were dealing with now can have legal recourse, can do all the things they wanted to do in the first place when all you had to do was wait. If I didn't tell you not to leave them, that wasn't for your higher good. Your higher good was the patience. Because if you had waited, you would have gotten all you needed for the justification more than you thought you did just because it didn't feel right to leave your situation. That's how EFI works. Okay, so now you have just moved your options out of the way, and now it'll be you and your situation and your issue. Now, people ask me when they directly say no to an EFI directive, like seriously, you know you're not supposed to wear yellow, and you put on yellow, and you know it says don't wear yellow, and you just did it because you wanted to, and now all this negative stuff is happening because you were like, it's just a color. However, you don't know if, let's say you put on that yellow for that day. Okay, let me give you an example. And you're like, why do I have to refrain from yellow? It's only a color. And let's say you go somewhere and someone has a problem seeing yellow for whatever reason. They just have a problem. And they're driving. And you get hit by a car, allegedly, because they saw the yellow. Okay? Now you're hit by the car and you're like, oh, I thought I was protected. We did this Ebo. If I said I'd be good as long as we did the ceremony, everything's all good. But you specifically decided not to follow wearing that yellow. So now you got hit by the car. It was something so simple because you were like, why do I have to not wear yellow for a couple of weeks, months, whatever? What's the point in that? Something so simple just changed your life just because it didn't seem like it was logical to you, right? And even the other thing changed your life because it didn't seem like it fit within your moral character. But you decided what that moral character was. No one told you to go lay it down, bust it open. No one said that. If I didn't say that, how you do that is up to you. If I just told you what the deal was. So now you not following that has now set a series of events for situations to come that were told to you were okay, but you specifically did that. So if anyone ever comes to me after they specifically denied something and said, "Is there something else that we could do to help it along?" Because I just said I wasn't gonna do it, and I did, or you try to play me and say you didn't realize or remember. Don't worry, if I will tell on you anyway. And is there a way that we can rectify it? No. And if you go to any practitioner that tells you you specifically denied this thing, and we gonna fix it for you. Because that was your own your own mind that decided to do that. Now, does that then make you of immoral character because you asked what we believe is the communication between man and God and these tools, and we were giving you? It's almost like Olodumare himself handed you the answer to the test, and you were like, "Screw that." So now, whose fault is that? So now, are we immoral now because we're not helping you do that? Or are you immoral because you didn't follow it? Or is it all in the perspective of what you consider to be moral and immoral, right? My points. So, when we are talking about morality and the construct of what you have been taught is proper and good, remember that Ifa works in what is proper and good for you and your situations as you ascend. That doesn't make anything less negative or positive depending on the situation. But that goes back to the very beginning of this video when I asked you these certain scenarios. So are our soldiers in any country, are they wrong for fighting for whatever they are told to believe in or believe in? So you never really know. Are they doing things because it's a directive? And that directive may not come from our source that we consider to be Olodumare. It may not come in the form of Ifa, but is that right and good? It makes you wonder, right? And so when someone is hurt and they're being abused and they do something and you consider that not to be of moral character, does that mean that they are less moral? Right? That makes me ask you that question. And I already told you, if I was not going to have you do something that you aren't going to benefit from for your greater good and those around you, and also is it going to have you hurt, harm yourself or others? Just not. So that's it. Let me see if you have any questions. And then from there, if you want to come up, the EOS will put a link here and you can come and ask me a question on camera. We haven't had people come up in a long time when I say that. They just blank face stare at me and type on the screen, but I get it. So, Ifa directives. Stop putting your morality of what you were taught to believe in the place of what you believe as it's occurring. Because your character isn't dictated by what you conveniently consider to be moral at the time. Okay? And that's the problem. That's what people are conditioned to believe. What is moral and immoral will always fall within that thin line. And it just depends on you, your perception, and what you're going through. So thank you. I feel like I'm doing the will you come, will you come? Will you come? Will y'all hit that? Will you come? Will you hit that cash app so we can keep up with this ministry? Y'all know I will never ask for the cash app. Guess what? My baby brought me some water. I love her. Look, she knew. Look. And I got some gummies, but they don't pay me. So, I'm not going to eat on the camera. Even though I want to chew these gummies in your face, I'm not going to do it. Oh, let's go 20 something minutes. Ooh, nobody wants to join? Anybody have any questions? Hey, it's good to see you. Will you come? Will you come? I feel like that. Who wants to give their life over right now? So when you get a divination, be sure you can follow the directive. And don't ask no yes or no questions that you aren't prepared for the answer for. We have some doozies. Well, you're like, what you asked that for? Yeah, top over the win. That baby, she knew. She said, let me do this for her because I just know. Come on, baby. That's why I always tell y'all that. And for the new people, don't ask something that you don't want the answer to. You get a yes or no question, leave it at that. We don't care who. Is it Sally, Julie, such and such, or these, my so and so and so? Don't worry about that. Just know it's taken care of. Okay, okay. Now let me go back and read the comment in detail that was left. The book by Serendipity. Yeah, some people want to ask questions and be prepared for them. I thought about my question for a week. You have no idea. They're not. And they ask me all kind of stuff. And then I become the bad person that said something that God wouldn't say. But you'll listen to everything else God said. God said you were going to be, and this is, when I say God, I'm talking about Olodumare. So people are the tools of that Ifa. Arumila, the diviner of those tools. Okay. So when I go, we consulted with Ifa, and Ifa said, you're going to be wealthy, your health is going to be good. You're going to accept that though. That is good. You're like, so is my if my health is gonna be good, then it's like when is this wealth coming to me? Come on now. Your wealth can be mental, physical, all the things. And I told you we're not psychic. We're not gonna be like in 6 months. Wealth is gonna come to you. No, Cheryl, absolutely not the same. Readings, and if you go look, you'll see that I did a reading with a woman named Tracy. She does automatic writing. Okay. She can speak to the dead, as can I, but she does it in a different way. And in that, um, it was cool because she talked about some of the Ifa concepts. We talked off camera, and she was like, people who practice any type of uh, ancient tradition or religion, because she knows it from both aspects, seem to be more connected with what we are taught in the spiritual realm when I'm talking to these people who have passed. So this is why I'm going to get to this. A reading gives you a generalization of options for a time period. A divination tells you what's going to occur after we do this thing. So we tell you what's up, right? If I says, this is what's up, this is what's happened in your past, and now we're doing this ceremony to amend that for that thing in your past. And we're going to do this ceremony to make these things better that are coming your way. That's the difference. It's like it gives you the answers to the test. Now, in that free will with the answers to the test, where you follow up with things, if you so choose not to follow up or complete what was told to you to refrain from and or do more of, then you would therefore breaking the rules of your test. That's different. Readings give you a heads up and it can still sway either which way, right? But there's no rectification to tell you we know that this is going to swing this way in your good, or we know this is now going to help keep your enemies behind you. The other thing is because we use, and I spoke about quantum physics on one of these videos, because of how we view energy and what we use to mitigate what you cannot see, hear, and or feel, because not everybody walks on that elevated energy path. Because we do that and we do it in a way that some people consider to be archaic, it works and it still works today. And it's been an oral tradition passed down of these things working. So I found it amazing to talk to Tracy about that as well, because we talked about energy and how energy convey itself and how we as practitioners do these things that make it different from what she does as the verbal heads up. So I hope that that makes sense. Let me see. Haven't been initiated, and what are some good ways to study to practice? Goddess, I practiced Ifa for years before I got initiated. And it was simply reverencing ancestors will always be first. You say good books and stuff. I don't recommend them highly. I have some in here. Certain people you should listen to. And if you are able to join an ELA, you'll get some more information on that. But the whole purpose of Ifa itself is to better yourself. And I will always take you back to your ancestors first. You know, I got called a scammer for telling people to stop paying people to get crap when they could just talk to their ancestors. Told them to stop go buying this shit off of Etsy. They have Oshun in a box. I was told I was a scammer for that. Go to your ancestors and they'll work out the rest. It will always be an independent practice to better yourself and what is in you, because you are your first Orisha. Your Ori, your higher self, is your first Irumule. Okay, I haven't been in. Okay. Monique, I didn't ask one question because I wanted to be careful about what I asked. Thank you. I respect that so much. As I said, I'm still able to still ask two more questions. You are Monique. You can. Rima Tracy was awesome. Thank you for sharing it very personal. My pleasure. The parts she cut out, I'll have to speak about because she's trying to keep it down to a certain amount of minutes because people's um, time and wanting to spend time and watch it isn't very long. The conversations we had in between are wonderful. And what she did, and I explained to her more of our practice, was she confirmed what Ifa already told us, which is that Kehinde, i.e. Capriccio, was the one moving these toys and things for Taiwo. We knew that, right? Because Ifa already told us. And we did a whole little appeasement to lower his little energy because he's really strong. But that conversation with her when she told me, and I was like, yep, when y'all saw me do my eyes like that, is because I was like, girl, if I already told this, I just wanted you to say it out loud for this baby because she don't want to listen to her mama and she doesn't want to listen to a Lou right now, you know? So that's what happened. So more of it. She wanted to put a part where he told her that she was powerful by herself and she didn't need to be known as a twin to be powerful. And she wanted to put that up there, but she also didn't want it to feel like she was exploiting a child because she said people will come up and think that. But I gave her permission to have Taiwo on there. It was just wonderful. I knew if you worked with her, she was real. She is her, all of them. My partner in Hong Kong, she and I aren't partners. We're getting to know each other now because she's so fascinated about um, African spirituality. So we're getting to know each other now. However, my partner in Hong Kong, Willow, she is, if I have them on my social, they do the things. Okay. Like if you see me with a video that shows them in the video playing, we do some things. And I told her it was fine to share it. She asked me, was it okay? I told her it was fine. I thought about it for a minute because y'all know how sensitive I am about my baby. But I told her it was fine. So thank you for that. I'm glad. I hope she puts up more. I'm trying to get, oh, you cried, sung out it. Oh, Tabo was so happy. She hugged the hell out that bear. And now the bear's been getting her in trouble because she's been playing in my living room and feeding the bear oranges. And she doesn't need the bear to talk to Candy. She's always talking to him and playing and stuff. And she uses candles to confirm what she's saying or doing, but she also hears him as well, which Tracy confirmed for her. So she's just different, my baby. So they called and seen me. He called. Oh, it's like as soon as okay. It made me tear up because I thought about my grandmother who passed 21 years ago, and two because of her brother sister bond. Also have twins, a boy and a girl. Oh, yeah, it was tight. And she calls him Big Brother. So any of you all who watch that will know that the term Big Brother is used because the second born is considered the eldest in Yoruba tradition. Therefore, he is her big brother versus she's the firstborn. There's a reason for all of that concept. I never knew. Oh, I love automatic writing. Someone who closely does that. I don't doodle. I can't doodle and then say such and such. Is the kid? He's not a kid anymore. Tyler Henry. He does that too, except he used it to sort of get out of his own headspace. And the first person he ever did a reading for, believe it or not, was his high school teacher, who he said he was thinking about offing himself respectfully. And she noticed something in him, and he would sit by himself because he was being teased for his sexuality and everything else. And he did a follow up that's on Netflix because they moved the show to Netflix, in which he got to see that teacher and come to find out she's Black. Okay. And he told she was the first person because her mom had just passed and was coming through to him. And it's really neat to see. And he would talk about doodling. She talked about how reserved and stuff he was. And he tells her all the time. And when he talked about her all these seasons, even before he did the Netflix thing, he talked about the teacher that saved his life. And it was her. And she was like, well, you sort of saved mine too. Because she didn't have the best relationship with her mother. But the fact that he said the things that he said, and he knew why they called her to the office because she had just heard that her mother passed. You have to watch that. He doodles, but he doesn't really do it, but it helps calm his mind. Some people can do that. I'm not that person. I got to hear it all. Came and sat by me. We talked about her religion. He told me, he was, oh, that's cool, goddess. Willow is the truth. Come on now, Talia. Wow, I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah, it's the concept to calm your mind in order to write. Hey, peace, travel babe. Good to see you. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling the comments so I can make sure. Now, the question is, do people consider that to be moral in Ifa? Because they're like, well, if you have Ifa, what are you doing this for? Sometimes people have to hear things outside of me in my own house. And let me tell you what that did. I hear Taiwo say, well, Miss Tracy did such a good job. But what's interesting is Taiwo can pick up on adults, but she'll tell them stuff about themselves all the time, or something they need to do, or something. But now, since speaking to Tracy, she was already open to me about telling me about energies and stuff in her room, or about when she's working with the Arumile or the Orishas that we have in our home. she is more open and flexible about what she's feeling, seeing, hearing, picking up. It's the way she is. She's always asking is, Mom, are you okay? You don't seem like you're okay. You sure you're okay, sister? Or Mom, I saw such and such and such. And remember I told y'all she made me remove the TV out of her room because she was seeing owls and stuff in it. And then here comes Miss Tracy telling her that owls are very powerful and wonderful. And then she's like, oh, owls are powerful and wonderful, but don't put my TV back. Okay. Are there directives that pertain to our parenting? Not if we'll have kids, but things like we need to do for our kids in the moment. It's absolutely, Jessica. Yep. There will be directives about how you treat your kids. If you need to go out and stuff more with them, there will be some things that come up like that. Yep, absolutely. Yep, just depends on if you need to hear it at that time. That was a great question. Yes. And I hope I turn this on for the chat replay to happen. Oh, those of y'all missing the chat replay. Oh, let me see. And thank y'all for the likes. I really appreciate y'all. Oh, it says save highlights. Okay. Add a guest. Let me see. Can I add a guest? Oh, nope, it's the link. Please post the link again in case somebody wants to come up. Lovely. It's so funny. I was thinking about you the other day because I was searching for a name. See, I knew you were searching for a name and it was close to yours. Lovely. You can have one once a year, every 6 months. Some people have it every month. It's up to you. I say 6 months personally, but it's totally up to you. Some have it because other things are going on that didn't show up in their divination, and they're like, yo, can we holler for a minute? They're still working on their coach and they have it. So it's truly when you feel led to do it. That's another thing. Since I'm a scammer, I should be telling y'all to do that thing 2-3 times a month. Okay? That's what I should be doing. Tell y'all to do it every month. You have to know your path every month. If you're so worried about what's happening next, how are you going to live now? Yeah, that's not healthy. So that's why I recommend every 6 months or so. Some people do it every 3 months or 4 months. But my scamming ass need to tell y'all to come back every day. I'm like, just take out the loans. Take out the loans, people, because nobody cares that you have to live. This is living. My pleasure. This is living. Okay, that's what I need to do. My scamming ass. I need to scam all y'all. And I need to tell y'all to keep coming back and getting a crochet. By the way, I did ask about a crochet. If there's any general one that we are able to sell, and we're working on if that's a yes or a no. Because the way Alu works is it takes his ass forever to decide on something when he's like, well, sort of, but not really. So, because each crochet is blessed with a particular OD. So in the essence of not just doing a crochet to do a crochet, we're gonna see. To me, that's just one more thing to add to try to ship and get here and ship that I would just rather not do. However, I've been asked enough for a year now that I'm like, let's see. Because there are people that'll show you how to make a crochet at your house, and you're like, okay, but girl, it don't have all that animal product and praying that occurs. So we'll see. But my scamming ass will just buy some soap from the local market and tell y'all that it's blessed and be like, come on now, because that's what I do. Looking for ways to make money. Thank you, Vivian, for posting the link again. If y'all want to come up, you can come up. It's AKOSE. In Yoruba, there's no SH. Yeah, good. I'm glad and my mom is still using hers. That's the thing that's funny. Okay, man, why are you changing your thing to high FM? You killing me. Girl, I can't follow you. So it's AKOSE. And you said for me to explain. Can you please explain what it is? Ah, yes. It is the spiritual medicine for what's occurring. So Your ebo that you have, which is what I call a prescription, is not complete until you complete their crochet. And I got two people now. This is why we changed the rules to you now have to pay for the shipping of it. Listen, it's included in your price, but the shipping of it is what it is. This is why you have to pay for it up front now and not after it gets there, because people just have me sitting on their crochet. One of them's going on a year, to be truthful, to the point where I want to throw it out, but it can last forever just because now you didn't finish your agreement. You had a verbal agreement. You said, "Hey, I need help." And out of not only verbal, spiritual agreement. Hey, I need help. And with this help, do all of these things because I'm going to pay for the materials to have these things done and the time to do these things. So do all of these things on my behalf. I will follow the directives and I will complete what it is you told me I need to do. And part of completing that is using the crochet. It may be a soap, it may be an object, it may be both. And then we give directions on how to use those things and the directions on what to pray for as you're using it. Some people think because they have the same Odu as other people that their prayers are to be the same, but it's not. Based on what scriptures in additional came up for them during the process. And the scripture I'm air quoting because I'm just trying to put it in terms you understand in that process, and anything extra that may not have been written down in general, right? Because it wasn't necessary for you to like know that then determines how the crochet is made, i.e. the soap and the materials used for it. And then if it's not just the soap, you may be given something like a fan, a horse tail, and we're giving you directions on how to use that thing. It may even be you have to have beads added to yours, so you're to wear a bracelet now and it comes with your thing. So that's it. Sun Goddess, it is black soap. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. The black soap that's marketed to you all in the stores, that ain't it. It is a spiritual black soap, yes, but it's soft in consistency. It's not hard, and it's made of herbs and all the other things. So it's not the same, but they will market it to you and say it's great for your skin, such and such and such, right? And you think that's the same. It's not the same. It's never a hard substance. It's just not. I have two pages. This one is dedicated to wellness in it. Girl, life. Okay. If you want to practice the traditions, is a divination necessary? Can you still be connected without ever having one? Letitia, yes, you can practice, but you're gonna have one. Like, my mom once asked me, why do I want something to that I have to look for or be nervous about? She was thinking I was scared if I didn't do something or whatever. And I told her that I know what my life was like without having it. So having it is an extra bonus. So yeah, you could practice and never have one, but you're gonna eventually get one. Even if you just do it one time. You're not gonna just do it one time, but I'm just letting you know. However, more power to you. Like, I know in your mind, you're like, no, I'm not. I don't think I ever want to do it. Like, yes, you will. It's going to happen. There's not one person who hasn't, it just hasn't. And it's because you start to, instead of praying for things and not seeing them happen, you actually pray for things and see them happen. And because you now are like, oh my gosh, this thing is happening, you, you'll do it. Hell, some people come back every couple of years. Who who's a good example of that? Caprice hasn't been back. I should call her right now because I'm talking about it. Caprice, if you go watch the video about Caprice, Caprice had that thing done. It has it been a year? It's been a year now. And in a year, she hadn't been back to get another one now because her whole life changed. I mean, her whole life, starting from the elbow, because she followed the directives before she even got the elbow. She followed what it said about not turning people down and giving them money when they ask, even though she was like, they don't even deserve my breath. Do you hear me? She had a family member ask her for money that she did not want to give them money because she knew they would never pay her back. And on top of that, she was unemployed at the time and she was getting a check. It wasn't an unemployment check. It was some check from the company until she was suing them because she had hurt herself in the job and they didn't want to give her money for that. Okay. So even when she didn't have the money for her EBA, and this is why it's good to watch my long ass content that people don't want to watch. She didn't even have the money for it. I remember her telling me, I just don't have it right now. And I told her, don't worry, it'll be provided if you intend on doing it. If your whole spirit says, I'm going to do this thing. Sure enough, she followed the directives, even though she didn't even have the prescription fulfilled. We didn't do all the ritual stuff. And because she followed that directive, not even 2 weeks after that, she got that money back and then some and was able to pay for her EBO. Since the EBO, she never told me she had lost. Y'all, correct me if I'm wrong. Did she say six six children? She never told me. She had miscarriages. She told me after the fact, and we got her a necklace to put all her ashes in, and we let her pick out what kind she wanted. See the things we do that y'all don't even know, and I didn't want to tout this thing, but I think it's important just for you to hear as part of her story. She never told me how she lost them, that she lost them to abuse. Never said anything. And she all were sets of boy twins, all of them. And then we got her necklace after she said this on the live. I was like, oh, we should do something. So we got her necklace that so she got to pick out the color and what it was. And it's an hourglass, so she could put all the ashes because she had them all cremated. And that's where she kept her ancestor area. She put them on her ancestor altar. So she put all of it was seven. Okay, thank you. She put them all the ashes in the hourglass. She has it till this day, right? So we were like, okay, fine. She had talked to me. She came to visit my parents. And so she could visit me and we talked in person. We did a whole thing around the holidays from last year. And she was like, I just moved out. She just got her divorce right after this. I don't think it was 3 months after that. She was talking to me on the phone. And I said, you do know you could file this by yourself, right? She was like, really? So she did that. She tricked the dude into signing it because he wouldn't have signed anything because he wanted part of whatever money he thought she was getting. She tricked him into signing it with her friend that has a notary business. And they notarized it, sent it off. She was divorced not even 2 months. The paperwork was done in 2 months. She moved in with her parents with those two twins. And I don't think she was there 2 months before she met a boo because she came on here and I have her on audio talking because I said, people are asking me in my live about you. And she said she met a new boo. She didn't even want a boo. She said, but everything she had prayed for in her elbow was in him. And now she went from having to pay for everything to not having to pay for anything because he said, you just need to come here, work on yourself, figure out what you're going to do, and I'll take care of you and the kids. And so she had this whole new place. She then won her lawsuit, got that money, and she had been praying for a government job, but because she had that physical disability still, she didn't know she could get it. She is now a government employee, lost weight, and looks good. Okay. All right. So I called her. I texted her while I was with my parents to see if she was right because my mom and dad were asking about her because they said they owe her some greens from the garden. And she was like, honey, I had the babies at the what did she tell me? Oh, they were at the doctor's appointment. So she missed my call. And this is how you know it wasn't serious because she did not call me back. Do you hear me? Because that thing is happy. She said, but we're doing good. Tell mom. And then I said, hello. She done dumped me. Look, I'm going to see if I can reach her now. Just I can say, see the people asking me about you and you up here tripping and see what she says. She'll probably laugh. Okay, so Caprice is happy. So that is a good example of following Ifa directives when they don't seem likely and that you should follow them. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it. Because she dumped us. And then I'm going to go. And I don't know what time she does or doesn't get off work. Because I don't know what her job is. Well, I'm just talking about you on live right now. Literally. Do you hear me? Good. How are you? Someone just asked about directives, and I'm live now. And I said, let's see if she answered the phone because her life's going so good, she may not. Um, and my mom wanted to see you this holiday, but on top of that, I told them that you were doing good because you're not calling me. So that's how I know you're doing good. Oh, they were sick. Hold on. If you don't mind, I'm going to put you on speaker so you can watch this back on live just so they can hear that I'm talking to a real person. Okay. So, and I told him you may not answer the phone, and I don't know even if you're at work right now. But yeah, if I was at work, yes. But I was explaining because we were talking about morality. That's what I was talking about on live, and then asked as an example. And I gave an example of someone who doesn't practice this thing, got an EBO a year ago, over a year now, and may not come back for another one because their life's going so good. I'm telling that. Yes. Okay. Let me say, not only that, about me a good man. Yes. Love my kids. Yes. He did not play about me or them. Yes. I told him. I said, and it happened very quickly. Yes. And it was just like boom, boom, and boom. Yeah, everything just my life. I finally got the good job I was asking about. Yep. I'm not supposed to be doing my own business. I'm gonna still do that too. See, and that was in her Ifa Divination. Thank you. Yeah, to do my own business, but that's still in the works. But every couple of lives, someone asks me about you. If it isn't here, it's on Tok of Tik. Oh. Yep. They get on live with you one day. We'll have to do it. We'll have to do the year and a half update at this point. No, we need to do it on your anniversary. Isn't that March? When's your anniversary? It's March. Your divorce anniversary is March, right? All right. Yeah. Yeah. You don't bother me. Okay. Look. He's actually really sick right now. But if I said that, no offense. Well, yeah. I told her, I was like, look, I said, I advise you to leave me alone. I said, just leave me alone. Just go. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You cause it. I'm not the reason. At all. If I said push me away, like we're done. Said don't mess with her, leave her alone. And as long as you didn't mess with him back. Yeah, and he just kept on digging, kept on digging. He kept on digging so much. I forgot to tell you, he tried to take me to court for cussing. The man who didn't do anything? The man that didn't do anything tried to take me to court for cussing. Went in there, saw a whole lot, found out, see the kids, all that. And I'm losing it. Mm-hmm. So, but that was in your thing too. That was all in your divination. Anybody would take you to court. Mm-hmm. No visitations, no, he don't get nothing. Well, he wasn't doing it anyway. He don't get anything now, my new boo. He's talking about marriage now. Come on, not my kids. Congratulations. Yes. I mean, yeah, Talia said your continued faith has inspired so many. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I wish I could see. I lost so much weight. I had told him you had lost weight before, but now. I was really small. You know what? Let me put you on speakerphone. I'm about to say, hey. Okay, I'm going to look. You said I don't need to see no black around your behind. In the words of my mother. Okay. What's funny, y'all, is y'all would think Caprice and I talk all the time. Like we haven't spoken. How long? It has. But when they ask about you, I say, you know what? We're gonna find out. And about moral character. Okay, I'm gonna look. It hasn't come through for me yet. Oh, here it is. Girl, I'm gonna turn it around. Can y'all see? Girl, I don't think I saw that side since middle school. Come on now.
bit more. I lost a teeny bit more.
Girl, look. Go watch the interview with Caprice to see her before and after. You better stop. They said, "Oh my God, that's her." Look at the happiness on your face.
I don't have no foundation on my face. The only thing I have on is lashes. And you know my eyebrows. I got them I got
Microbladed.
Right.
They're like, "Okay, ma'am, I see you." Oh my God, look at her. Wow, she looks like a totally different person.
I look younger. I
You
look
do.
younger.
Wow, I know, right? Go watch the Caprice interview. Even then, she was changing, and go watch seeing her when she was at my parents, and then come back and see this video. She looked like a whole different person.
When I was at your parents' house.
Okay,
I'm trying to find that.
she looks amazing. They said they were like she a whole different person.
Right now. I'm strolling back into the archives of my phone.
Okay, so now y'all got to update yourself. Oh, let me tell you what's been happening over here. So you can get this on this live. So I've been called a scammer. And then on top of that, people have been mad because they asked me if they should stay with somebody, and then I give them the answer, and they said I told them to cheat on their spouse, and that's not what I said. I think you got the same type of directive that said if somebody talks to you, don't push them away, right? Oh.
Anything like that.
Girl, I've been getting it. So I'm on here talking about what you believe is moral character. And I got some more energies in my life. You haven't met them yet because you haven't heard the voice change because we haven't talked like that. But when you watch.
You are the most sweetest, genuine person I ever met.
Oh, Caprice.
First, the one that introduced us. He was
Yes.
God's thing.
Yes.
But if it won't for that, where I be at, right? It seemed like everything was going so fast. I didn't even lost like, oh my God, I got to call shit. I got to call. I was like, oh my God, I had you on my mind.
Yes.
But I hadn't had the time to, okay, just to wind down for you.
It's fine. As long as I know you're good. If I don't hear from you, I know it's going good.
Everything was going so good.
And when I told my father you got the government job, he was happy. Then he started asking me questions. You know how nosy he is. So what's the job? Well, what does she do? I don't know. Same thing I had to do with him. Oh, okay. Text me so I can send it to him so he can know because he does the same thing with Ea Vivian. Yeah, so
what I'm trying to do now because I'm like, okay, I don't pay my dues working hard like this. Let me find me another government job, working in the office, something like,
yes.
and I can still keep my same pay grade and just move up from there.
Well, congratulations, because you did more than a pay grade, girl. You did a whole upgrade.
I sure did. I sure did.
So, congratulations to you. And thank you for following what you thought was crazy, but you like, I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway. I think you gotta do it, but I mean, we got to, for real, once I found out, my grandma, on my mama's side.
Yes.
They from Charles.
Yes, we spoke about that.
Spiritual.
Yes.
Teachers are spiritual. They practice this. Talking to your ancestors. They believe in everything. My mom even told me her mom had a table. She was a little girl. My mom was 13 when her mom died.
Okay.
She remembers, she was telling me, she said, my mom, said my mom and dad told me to move back in because I did have my own place. My dad was like, no, you by yourself. Come home. So that's what I did. So I did actually end up getting my own place, but my dad was like, no, you got no babies, ain't no man around.
Yes. Thank y'all for the likes.
But I ended up, I said, Mom, I asked my mom for permission first for an altar. And my mom said, you know what? This looks so familiar. Like, my mama had this. And my mom started putting stuff on the altar, too.
Did she keep it since you left?
I'm still here with my mom, but I'm still here with my parents. Everything going good.
Oh, okay. I thought you moved in with the dude.
Oh no, not yet.
Okay, all right.
Not yet, not yet. I'm gonna wait. You gotta put a ring on it first. I ain't doing that no more.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for that. You know. Yeah, but
Let
you
me
know,
close out this live and then I will message you back. I'm going to call you back actually if you're available. Okay.
I said hello. I love everybody.
Y'all got that from her?
But whoever said you're a scammer is not a believer. I don't even work. You know what?
No,
People
wait.
and it be a reflection on them. You know, like
It's usually people who are wrapped up with the other people who aren't doing right by them. So I'm okay with it. I don't care. It's just what it's supposed to happen. But I just needed to say it because it's just the way it is.
That's not even you. No, that's not even no, ma'am. Because before I met you, my life was in shambles. I was in complete shambles.
And you didn't even tell me all of it. We just did what we did.
My blood pressure was high. I was sick. Everything. Just big. Couldn't lose no weight. Just miserable. And once I started practicing, meditating, so much better.
Yeah, because anybody who has stress from practicing this, they're not doing the right thing.
When I tell you, nobody mess with me. Not even at the job. Don't nobody mess with me.
Come on now. Is the voice change considered channeling when it happens? Yes, Jessica.
Yep. Yep.
I had a
And I
question.
attract a lot of good positive people. I met a lot of good people.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm a magnet. Yeah.
I'm gonna call you when I get off of here.
Okay. Love you.
Love you. Peace. Oh, here. That's what Caprice used to look like. That's next to that Santa at my parents' house. Can y'all see? And that's what she looked like now. Oh, that's what she looked like now. Okay. Before and after. Oh, and it hadn't even been a year since this picture, that is. Has it been a year? No, it has because it was Christmas time. So, yes. All right. It has. It's been a year. Christmas to Christmas. Yep. All right, let's go. We're going to close out this thing. And Jessica, is the voice change considered channeling when it happens? Yes. But it's in a different way because it's usually um, some people can change their voice completely. It's amazing to watch that happen. It takes a lot of energy to be able to do so, not just for that energy, but for myself or the people who are in that position. I don't completely change personas. I've seen people be able to do that, and I have like a restriction on that. However, the channeling aspect is more for me, not so much channeling as it is sharing the energy in the space. So it's not necessarily their complete thoughts or whatever coming through at the same time is when you see a full channel happen. I know I'm in a shared space. I know that I'm switching. I know I can hear it happening. And when I start teaching, that is their knock on the okay, or when my moods change. If I'm meant to protect someone that I'm talking to, a different energy may enter at the same time. If I know I'm about to pull on some people's buttons, it may be a different energy, but that's just how that works with me. Not everybody that receives energies in Ifa will have this kind of physical response. That's just how I happen to adapt to what's going on. So when I'm having a deep conversation, I'll start talking like a Caribbean accent, and I just tell myself, one of my people showing up. Yes. So that's exactly what's happening. Katana Glady said that's beautiful. I like the name change, by the way. So yes, so for different people, it's different things. But yes, and your ancestors can very much do that. For me, it doesn't happen on with anyone who has already been living. And well, some of Relay did live. That's how they became Rishas. So let me anyone that I know of in my lineage that has been living. So for me, it's always energetically with the Arumileo or the Orishas that I am connected with. Either I have them in my home, which heightens that telephone call, if you will. But then the other ones are sort of like if they show up, it's like, who is that? One or such and such. Let me go check. Such and such and such. Ah, okay, good. Thank you. All right. Well, if you all have any more questions, ask them now. I went way over time because we way over 30 to 40 minutes. I don't know who's gonna make it to this point, but ask your question now. I'll answer these last questions. Let's say the first two or three, and then after that, I'm gonna get off of here. And I thank you for your time. Then I gotta call her back. And then thank y'all. Y'all been going in and out, in and out. And I'm glad that y'all got to. And she is like the continued story. Her and Marche are the continued story of that. But because they shared their story on here, maybe I'll have a new set that'll decide they want to share their story and see what happens. My voice changed while I was praying. Now I know I was channeling correct. And it will also change in other aspects. Some people, when they're praying, this is why talking in ancestral language is a thing. It could happen then too. What you all call speaking in tongues is nothing more than an ancestral language. And so that brings to fruition whatever it is that you are doing. I was doing a live once on Tok of Tik, and the young lady that came up on the live, she was saying the same thing. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm speaking in tongues." She was trying to refrain from that because she thought that wasn't what she was supposed to be doing as she was speaking to me. And so now I've come to know better. I knew then that it wasn't what people think. They associate it with church. But speaking in tongues is nothing more than your ancestral connection in language coming through you. Some people may understand it or just have a feeling of what is being said. Other people don't understand it at all and don't know why it comes on. And in her case, we were having a discussion about how she was feeling about certain things, et cetera, et cetera. And boom, she got hit several times. And she was apologizing because she was sitting at her desk at work and she's on camera and she thought she was wrong for speaking that way with me because, I'm not Christian. But there was nothing wrong with that at all. Anything that anyone does that is comfortable for them or that their body intuitively does that's on a higher frequency is supposed to happen. There is no right or wrong to that. There is no you are Christian or you are not. It is you were taught that this thing is only aligned with Christianity when the truth be told, it's aligned with anyone who operates on that frequency and who has been given the talent as such and the honor of such of being able to know their ancestral tongue, regardless of whether they understand it or not. So let me see. I don't need anything. Just grateful to my ancestors who brought me to your channel. You are appreciated more than you know. And I want to get initiated soon. Let's see what them taxes do. It is my pleasure and always our pleasure. And when I say our, let me elaborate. It would be all of the energies that walk with me. It would be all of my Ifa family, and it would be all those known and unknown to me who help me to help you. So it is our pleasure, as always. It is our job. All right. And our life. So that said, we will end on that note. And maybe I'll go put some things in here to tell people where to go, or we'll just get lucky and people actually watch this thing to the end. That said, peace, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you.